Heyo everybody, Haku here, back with the second part for, well, I guess this is my last video for Restart. So, yeah, the second part of Chapter 11 for Magical Girl Raising Project or Mahou Shoujo Ikusei Keikaku. Restart, Chapter 11. Either way, you know what I mean. So, yeah, I just a couple hours ago recorded the first part of this, now I'm going to record the second part. And I'm hoping to post this. I might post it the same day as the first part, or maybe the day after. But of course you guys won't be seeing this till it's up anyway. Who am I talking to? So yeah, some thoughts before I continue reading. We are on page 24, I believe. Let me check real quick. 24 at the scene break going to nokko-chan's point of view. Move that stuff out of the way. Don't want anything bumping the microphone. So yeah, I guess some thoughts I have. I don't think nokko-chan is evil. There's a chance that nokko-chan is the Demon Lord, but Melville's the murderer, and I guess Rionetta was the accomplice. But I don't think nokko-chan is evil, because this would mean she hasn't really killed anybody. She cut off her hand and faked her own death and tried to get these guys to kill each other. But an option is that she could be evil and that she's manipulated everything. She manipulated Melville. I doubt that, though. I think Melville just was crazy and killed people because she was not in the best sort of mental state. Not in the same way as Clanberry was, where Clanberry was legitimately post-traumatic stress disorder and manipulated, but more in the Melville more did it just because she wanted to be strong and didn't really care about killing people. Melville's kind of a bad person. But yeah, so she could be evil, but I doubt it. I think nokko-chan's good. I think that there are a couple ways this could go. I think that maybe they're like, crap, nokko-chan is good, but she's the Demon Lord and we have to kill her to end the game. Oh well. And they kill her, and it's incredibly, incredibly sad and depressing. And then maybe Snow White shows up to save the day, and they're like, damn, we just killed an innocent little girl. Just so that... And like, we didn't need to. If we would have waited 5 minutes, Snow White would have been here. That could happen. Or it could happen a different way where they're like, we're not going to kill her. And then Snow White shows up to save them and they all four survive. That could be a possibility too. Or, yeah, because I still see Snow White showing up somewhere in this, or else they wouldn't have shown that whole story with her and Keek. And of course Keek is definitely in bad guy territory now because, like Flesh said, Lazaline was kind of an innocent bystander that got drawn into this. So yeah, I guess those were all my predictions. For nokko-chan though, and the reason I guessed her in the first half of this, or at least one of my 3 potential outcomes I saw was her being the Demon Lord and her faking her death. The reason I was thinking that is because you guys know, as I've been reading, I've been a little bit, like, I thought that was the least likely of my 3 guesses, between her being Demon Lord, it being Ripple hiding somewhere, or, I forget even what my third one I said was, but I thought that the third one was going to be either Clantail or Shadowgale, but I thought out of them, the least likely was nokko-chan being actually alive. But I've been suspicious from her for a while now, if you've been watching, ever since that one time when we had the scenes with them during the logout period where they were all in real life, and everybody else is like, who's the Demon Lord? Man, this is so sad. Why do we have to kill each other? And nokko-chan's like, boy, I do need this money, you know. So her being more concerned about money kind of threw me off and had me suspicious for a while now. But even though she's a Demon Lord, like I said, it doesn't look like she's killed anybody, so it'll be interesting. Let's start reading now so we can see what her motives are. Page 24, as I said, nokko-chan. In this game, your role is the Demon Lord. That was the text that nokko-chan received in her magical phone. The next sentence that appeared was her victory condition, the elimination of all other players. When viewing the series of incidents caused by Clanberry, nokko-chan wasn't a victim. Instead, she would be classified as a perpetrator. The leader of the magical girl group that nokko-chan once belonged to was a sympathizer of Clanberry. She would reward nokko-chan. She'd cooperated many times in the tests. Nokko-chan's role, to provoke unwilling magical girls. Usually she'd disguise herself as a normal human being and approach the participants anger, hatred. She would spread those emotions and accelerate the test. Okay, maybe Noko-chan is a bad person. Maybe she did accelerate this test by, maybe she did use her power on Melville. She wasn't in a position to know the full picture, yet she still had some understanding of what she was doing. While she knew it wasn't a good thing, she can... Oh, wait. At the time, though, when this was going on, Noko-chan was like 4. Okay. Just remembering that. While she knew it wasn't a good thing, she continued because she wanted the rewards. Noko-chan was able to earn some money for her house now that her father's gone. She couldn't earn money doing normal magical girl-related things, so she had no choice but to take on abnormal things. Once her cooperation with Clanberry was revealed, her group leader was locked up. Noko-chan lost her source of income. However, the Land of Magic's reach never came to Noko-chan. Maybe her leader protected her. Noko-chan stroked her chest. She was so sorry. She was like, I just, throughout Restart, we have been given so many things that I'm like, whoever this team leader that's locked up, are we going to see them? Whoever Petchka's friend was, are we ever going to see them? Like, there are so many things brought up this arc that I'm like, we're going to be seeing some of this stuff in the future. Moving along, though. Sorry. However, the Magical Girl Raising Project's master, she knew what Noko-chan had done. The master gave her a choice. Expose everything she's ever done, or participate in the game. Which would she choose? Her former leader has gone missing, her mother was stuck in one place, Noko-chan couldn't go anywhere. There was no other choice for Noko-chan. However, once the game begun, she began to mingle with the players. She was surprised that everyone else's clear objective was to defeat the Demon Lord. Noko-chan wasn't given that kind of information. She was the only one with a different victory condition. The game proceeded with no one knowing that she was the Demon Lord. When it was revealed that death in the game links to real life, she was covered in deep despair. They were killed. If she didn't kill anyone, the game would never end. She wondered if she would turn pale. If Noko-chan dies, then everyone else would be saved, but she couldn't do it. Her mother's face would always flicker in her head. While she was doubting herself, a magical girl died. Not an accident like Magical Daisy. Someone killed her. Among the participants in this game, she saw several people that were participants of Clanberry's tests. Noko-chan, who had more information than the other players, understood the master's intention a little. Those who were involved with Clanberry will be tested to see if their qualities were proper. The one on Clanberry's side, Noko-chan, had been given a last chance. She had no choice but to take that chance. During the events, if the other magical girls had some reason to suspect their friends, she would sow the seeds of discord. She had Detic Bell suspect Lazaline. She promoted the arguments between Rionetta and Nako. She agitated Melville. She caused Petchka to be scared. She made Shadowgale suspicious of Fleur. Wow, this is making me really not like Noko-chan. Like, all the times that we saw Shadowgale being suspicious of Fleur, that was all Noko-chan. All the times we saw Rionetta and Nako arguing, Melville killing people, Petchka being scared and not being able to move until that last sacrificial moment. Like, all of that, she had sort of... I mean, she didn't do it, but she kind of manipulated them into being more likely to do it. Man, that's rough. However, she made sure no one had anger or hatred towards her and paid close attention to that. Even without their memories, the magical girls who passed their tests still had scars remaining. To such an opponent, Noko-chan's magic worked very well. When Melville's crimes were discovered, Noko-chan, as the Demon Lord, thought, if she didn't take action now, this will never stop. Using Nyan-Nyan's body and flamethrower, Noko-chan made it as if she had been killed. So she dug up Nyan-Nyan's body then, since it was already charred. Makes sense. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, she cursed to herself as she continued to grill at Nyan-Nyan's body, and she cut off her wrist, the pain and shock putting her into tears, and she burnt that as well. Then she waited for the events just before the maintenance period. She made a space with a shovel under the fountain, and lurked there and spread her emotions to the gathered magical girls. While making it so that they wouldn't suspect anyone to be hiding, doubt and hatred, anger and negative feelings were all spread out. Once they all killed each other, she'd seed the deepest despair to the last one standing, and they would commit suicide. There was no way for Noko-chan to be the last one standing. However, even now, she's failed. Her last chance had been crushed. The three magical girls looked down at Noko-chan from the outside of the hole. Man, I feel bad for Noko-chan, but I also think that, wow, she was really trying to kill them all like that. Man, I don't even know what to think, because I feel bad because, like everybody else, she didn't have a choice. Like, it's not like as much with the first arc with, like, Swim Swim and the Peaky Angels, where they were, like, or like Calamity Mary, where they were real bad people and assholes. And to a point, they didn't have a choice, but they killed more people than they needed to. But with Noko-chan, it's like, she really doesn't seem like she was really trying to kill people. She just had to survive. She had her back against the wall more than anybody else. So what she did was terrible, but I mean, I find it hard to not feel bad for her, too. The three magical girls were standing with the sun behind their backs. From their expression, she couldn't see any feelings of superiority from winning, nor joy from clearing the game. Shadowgale, Clantail, and even Flea all looked very sad when they looked down at Noko-chan. No, there was still a way. There was still something she could do. Her chance was still there. Noko-chan took out her magical phone while trembling and got out. Since she's abandoned her own magical phone, she's dug up and retrieved Yan-Yan's magical phone instead. She grabbed the shovel with her left hand. It was sharp enough to cut the ground with its edge, helping her to cut the bottom of the fountain. The shovel that Clantail had given her, its blade had not dulled even now. Noko-chan smiled at the three magical girls. She couldn't stop the tremors on her body, but was she trying to make a fearless smile? I'm not going to resist, but would you be willing to make a deal? Man, she's going to say, I'll let you kill me if you give the money to my mom, isn't she? Master sighed, final part. Okay, let's see what's going on. One corner of the cube puzzle changed color. The game is ended. As if she was waiting for it, Snow White opened her mouth. I'd like you to tell me something. For the first time since she entered the room, Snow White spoke something. No doubt the girl's proposal had moved her, thought the girl as she smiled. I heard that one of these girls was an unrelated magical girl. Are you talking about Lazaline? She was just a messy mistake. I wouldn't say she's unrelated. Well, don't you think you don't think I'm going to deny that I accidentally made a mistake and made her join, do you? Still, she was taught by a magical girl that was one of the children, right? That makes her a quasi-participant, right? She fought faintly and then somehow died, so it's not a problem anymore. The girl laughed and smiled. Snow White narrowed her eyes. You see, I don't care about those things. I want to work together with you, Snow White. There's still plenty of children of Clanberry out there. We can take care of them ourselves, just the two of us. If it's you and me, Snow White, surely we can accomplish anything. We can create a world with only proper magical girls. The girl sat on top of her desk. She took Snow White's hand. Snow White quietly nodded. The girl gave such a big smile, she looked like she was about to fall down. The children of Clanberry are dangerous. I understand that. Right? They are. I knew you would understand, Snow White. Magical girls chosen from death games. They're selfish. If they don't get what they want, they solve it with violence. To do what they think is correct, they would go against the land of magic. I'm like that too. What? The girl grasped Snow White's hands tighter. You're different, Snow White. You didn't kill anyone. Crushing Clanberry's purpose. Without you, Clanberry might still be doing her death games even now. I didn't kill Clanberry. No, but you were there. It's because of you. The girl swung her hands up and down. When the two of their hands hit the desk, the cup in its saucer rattled. Snow White turned her face towards the girl. Other than Clanberry. Other than Clanberry, the test administrators that conducted death games, they're her children, are they? Of course, Clanberry's children will get the same treatment. If they're a proper magical girl, they'd be forgiven. If not, they're completely unforgivable. And if those children killed someone else, then it's absolutely unforgivable. They don't even deserve to be called magical girls. We'll take care of them without unnecessary tests. Okay. Snow White tried to let go of the girl's hand. However, the girl won't let go of her hand. Snow White shoved away the girl's hand with strength. You know, My magical skill, it's changed a bit since I first got it. Oh, that's because you're growing, aren't you, Snow White? In the past, I was hearing the voices of people in distress. Even now, the fundamentals haven't changed, but someone's subconsciousness, their reflexes, as long as they think, I can hear all of their voices without them realizing it. Ah, that's true. I can feel some of that during your fight with Flame Flamey. I'll trip you, but I hope you don't avoid it, is what she was thinking while she wasn't attacking anyone. Snow White's defenses, attacks, it looked like she'd already read Flame Flamey's reflexes beforehand. But I can't read any erased memories, so I had to investigate myself. Your mentor, do you remember her name? Of course I remember. She was a respectable magical girl. My mentor's name is... Her index finger stood up. Her mouth was half open. The girl looked hollow. Dust was dancing. She was standing in the same posture for over 30 seconds. Huh? She was a worthy and proper magical girl. She was cool, cute, and refreshing. What was that magical girl's name? She tightened her body for justice, would always shed tears for others. The girl adored her. Even now she wanted to be like her, yet she didn't remember her mentor's name. Not only her name, her face was also blurred. Even though she adored her, it was strange that she had no clue what she looked like. Before Snow White, it's natural to partner up with her mentor first, right? Why did she have no idea who her mentor was? The girl thought, but the answer didn't come. Her mentor's name didn't come out. Snow White placed her hands inside the bag that she brought with her waist. From inside the bag was about 200 sheets of A4 paper, all clipped together. They seemed to be documents. Your mentor's name is Pithy. She was influenced by Clamberry. She was a magical girl who allowed her students to kill each other under her supervision. She was the first magical girl that I caught. All of these documents contain information on everything she's done. Huh? Pithy. She's heard that name somewhere. The girl placed both her hands on her forehead as if she was trying to push it. She was having a headache. She refused. Her chair collapsed. The girl fell to her back. Her glasses fell, the sound of her chair falling, followed by the sound of her chair hitting a monitor. You told me you were like God here, right? You could do anything, right? Try taking out your memories. If you read these documents, I'm sure you could, right? Her head hurts. Her head hurts, as if it was being pressed by a vice. Her head hurts. On the wall of the room, the furniture, the air, all of them made loud noises. Magical girls chosen from death games, they're selfish. If they don't get what they want, they solve it with violence. To do what they think is correct, they would go against the land of magic. That's wrong, that couldn't be. I should look at those documents. Using her powers, I'll see. Are there any mistakes in my memory? I'll investigate to see if it's been tampered with. My head hurts. The dots on the ceiling were missing, the floor as well. The chipped off dots began to spread. She couldn't keep her world in the same shape. Snow White stood up. She picked up the magical phone on the floor and turned it on. Hope you don't mind if I ask you for information. I can tell you everything I know, Pon, but could I ask for one thing, Pon? What? Do you think you could change the settings on my word inflections, Pon? I'll think about it, okay? Snow White's footsteps echoed from the floor to the girl's body. The automatic door opened and it closed. She wanted to call out, but the girl couldn't speak. Everything in her world began to crumble. The girl's ego was screaming. Her world was collapsing. The girl's feet collapsed. She fell down to hell. There was no other trace of her. So I'm assuming she'll probably end up in the same place as Pithy and Flame Flaming. Either way, moving along. Epilogue time. Okay, how much time is it? Like 5 pages, wow. Epilogue. Hold on, let me get some water before this. Make sure my voice is not totally gone. Okay, hold on, checking the recording. I am losing my voice a little bit, though. The clerk came to pick up their orders and had a friendly smile, though there was also some colors of suspicion. Maybe it was because he was worried. It might be out of pure kindness. Maybe it was a thought saying, "Don't cause trouble where I work." Momori can understand that worry very well. If these two were together, she'll always worry. It's become cold recently. While saying those words, the girl was wearing a short skirt and drinking iced tea out of a straw. Kanoe, who rarely drinks hot tea, had the impression of, "This warm tea served in the restaurant, I won't drink it. No choice but to drink the cold ones." Furthermore, they were in an open terrace. Today was sunny and the seats were filled, having almost no options for two people. The other girl was silent and sipping hot cocoa, just the same as usual. Kanoe stood out, her clothing and accessories, regardless of their price. It wasn't really too flashy. Her makeup was also thin and elegant. However, she had a gorgeous appearance, like her rolled-up hair and her well-organized face, not to mention her tremendous attitude. It didn't allow Kanoe to be buried in the crowd. Some people would say she emitted an aura. I guess she was just that grand, thought Momori. The other girl was extremely plain. She was short. Her height is about elementary school age. Her braided hair dropped to the left and right, with glittering cellophane glasses, and no makeup or cosmetics. She had a skirt length that probably complied with school regulations. She looked like the kind of girl who you would call bookworm or class president, that kind of appearance. Their types were totally different. There was no contact between the two of them, but there was no need to be suspicious. Today the three of them were wearing school uniforms. Kanoe and Momori had the same high school uniforms on, only one girl was in a different uniform, probably a middle school student. Momori wondered what kind of group they looked like from the side. Probably nothing she could imagine. Although it was cold this morning, or at least she thought dissatisfied while sitting on the open terrace of the cafe, as the day went on it became more crowded. The guests being guided would obviously look this way and obviously would think it was suspicious. You know, after the game ended, I've actually been investigating some things. Because of that abrupt speech, Momori choked a bit. I asked around for the organizer of the game. It seems that a negotiator from the land of magic is taking care of her. Really, she managed to get rid of her. She was literally like God. In the game, she also met strong magical girls. There was actually plenty of strong magical girls, yet none of them could reach the master. They were like ants before a giant. Their sense of helplessness was like fighting against an earthquake or a typhoon or some kind of natural disaster. If she really got rid of her, it would have been good if she could have done it faster. Clantail, a serious and quiet middle school student, Nene Ono, nodded. She wanted to be a zoologist. Every day she studied to realize her dreams, and recently she said that she's also picked up cooking. Ah, my heart! Damn it, Clantail. She wasn't a bad girl, and when they first met Flea, who was known as Kanoe, she had a look on her face that said, "Ah, I see." On the other hand, Shadowgale, also known as Momori, had a concerned look that said, "Really," on her face. While Momori drank coffee, she recalled what happened at the end of the game. My freaking heart, she picked up cooking because of Pechka. And she was a middle schooler, which explained why she wasn't that smart. Ah, that's so sad. And of course she loved zoology, which was why she has the animal power. Ah, that is so sad, my heart. The bottom of the fountain was exposed. They dragged out Nokko-chan, who was hiding inside. Her mind had been manipulated. She was forced to kill each other, but for some reason, Shadowgale didn't feel like hating her. Seeing the girl trembling and shuddering in the heat wave made Shadowgale feel disappointed for her. Nokko-chan was leaning against the shovel that was piercing the ground. Her face was pale, she was trembling, yet she was trying to behave in a calm manner. Shadowgale looked at Clantail. I just thought, it's always the maid. I should have known that it was Nokko-chan. It's always the maid. Okay, sorry. Shadowgale looked at Clantail. A little earlier she had abandoned her expression of a combat magical girl. She was biting her lip, dropping her shoulders. Nokko-chan was looking downwards. Even though she was suffering burns, even if her fingers were broken, the rising Clantail didn't approach Nokko-chan. Even Flea seemed to have emotions of pity and sadness. She was looking into the eyes of Nokko-chan. It was something that Shadowgale, who had known her for a long time, had never seen. If they killed Nokko-chan now, they know they'll finish the game, but Flea didn't do anything. She seemed to be desperately thinking for another way. Shadowgale saw the scissors on her waist. If she wanted to, she could end the game right now, but she didn't think of doing it. She could understand what Clantail and Flea were feeling. Nokko-chan spoke with a soft voice as if she still had vigor and spirit. "The address and name on that magical phone, do you remember it?" "I remember it. I won't forget." Nokko-chan smiled. Small, faint, a smile that seemed to disappear. Surprisingly, the impression remained. "Thank you so much." "Well then, what's the transaction?" Nokko-chan held the handle of the shovel and pulled it out of the ground. "From what I'm about to do now, I'd like you to give part of that reward to the address." Nokko-chan pointed the blade of the shovel to her throat. Shadow Gale understood what she was about to do. It seems that Nokko-chan didn't want the three of them to kill, that she'll do it herself. She didn't want them to dirty their hands, that she'll share the rewards with them. Shadow Gale stretched out her hand to stop her, but she returned it. If she tried to stop her now, she'd be a hypocrite. It would be meaningless. Shadow Gale deflected her eyes. Even though she looked away, Nokko-chan's emotions were conveyed. Shadow Gale distorted her face and closed her eyes. The game had ended. They returned to the real world. Although Konoe seems honestly pleased, Momori wasn't. On the contrary, she was the opposite of Konoe. Her mind was only occupied with apologies. Konoe told her that she would be happy so long as Shadow Gale survived, and Shadow Gale was afraid that she was happy now only because of that. Furthermore, what happened in the game, especially what Nokko-chan felt in her last moments, had all sunk in. Then she slept for a week, only waking up for her living necessities, making the people around her worry a lot. Then, through the land of magic, they could contact Clantail. "In the end, that time," Konoe chuckled sadly, "we were outwitted, weren't we?" Konoe drank her cup without saying anything more. Momori wondered what Konoe was saying. She vaguely understood. At that time, Clantail, who was a combat magical girl, Flea, who was a rationalist, didn't do anything to Nokko-chan. If Momori thought back, did Nokko-chan use her magical skill to manipulate their hearts? Even though they knew Nokko-chan's identity, she was still fighting alone. Against the three of them, she managed to negotiate the rewards with them in the place of her suicide. Among magical girls, there are combat magical girls and non-combat magical girls. However, just because someone is a non-combat magical girl, that doesn't mean that they're weak. Nene placed down her cup. She had drank her cocoa. Konoe's tea was already gone, Momori's coffee as well. "So, shall we go?" "Understood. I brought the flowers. Do you have the rosary? Do you think I'd forget? Well then, let's go." They visited 12 graves. Last time they finished the final 2, and the remaining 10. Among one of them, somehow they had the job of spreading... Last time they finished the final 2, and the remaining 10. Among one of them, somehow they had the job of spreading money to the head of the houses. Everything was over, but it seemed like it'll still take a bit longer. Okay, I was wondering 12 graves, shouldn't there be 13, but maybe they were going to the 13th. Maybe. Either they were going to the 13th, or they just didn't go to Melville's because she was a murderer. Man, that was way, way, way better than the first arc, though. Just like, I don't know, the whole mystery aspect of it was way better, because the first arc was pretty straightforward survival game. I like that Restart had the mystery aspect to it. And in addition to that, I feel like the characters were a lot stronger. I've said that before, because there were really strong, good characters that are probably still some of my favorite characters from the first arc, but there were also plenty of weak characters as well that either barely did anything so you don't really care much about them, or they were kind of assholes and you didn't like them. But really, Melville's kind of hard. I don't really think Melville's really that sympathetic, but really, all of the characters in Restart were likable and sympathetic. I don't know if I would include Melville in that whole sympathetic part, but you get the point. I think the characters were stronger. Man, I in general think that was good, and it was a really, really good ending. I'm glad that all 3 survived like that. I'm really interested to see where Snow White is going from here. And guess on next Wednesday, I'll be I'll be reading the first episode, and then on Saturday, and then every Wednesday and Saturday from there until we finish, and then I'll do my characters video discussing each of them, because I want to read the episodes first so I can learn more about the characters before making my final decisions on how much I like them. And then lastly, I guess I guess after that we move into Limited, which will be fun. I mean, it'll be fun to read more of the main story, but it'll also be sad like every single arc. But either way, I hope you enjoyed the video, so, yeah, I guess, like, if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this chapter, what you thought of my thoughts on it, what you thought of Restart. Subscribe for more Magical Girl Raising Project and more. I've told you all my plans already. I won't bore you with that anymore. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel, or talk to you there if you want. And if you want a link to the Discord, then, yeah. If you want a link to the Discord, then just ask for it and I'll give you one in the comments. That is it. So thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.